Well, hi everybody. We are Cinema Girl.
Cinema Girl.
And we are here today to talk about the new film, The Bride.
That's right. With Christian Bale as Frank.
Yes. And Jessie Buckley as the bride. To me, this was a story about, well, there's lots of different things I felt like this movie was about, but maybe most noticeably to me, this was a movie about female exhaustion and rage, but also joy.
Right. I mean, let's just start off like, if you think about, sorry, cinemaphiles, I was just about to say, what year did Frankenstein come out? The 50s? The 40s? It's old. Anyway, considered a horror film. Would you consider this a horror film? I do not.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't think of it as a horror. In fact, things that this reminded me of, I wrote down some things like The Legend of Billie Jean.
Ooh, yeah.
The Outsiders.
Yep.
Cyndi Lauper, Madonna, Riot Girls, Dick Tracy, Batman, the Me Too movement.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I was thinking about.
Badlands. Surprisingly enough, Eraserhead.
Okay.
Purely for like the sort of breaking the fourth wall. Like Mary Shelley talks to the audience, kind of. I mean, I think she's talking to the bride, but also to us. I felt.
Yeah. I feel like she's talking. Whether she's talking to us or not, we definitely. She's probably talking to us, though. Yes.
Like looking right down the camera, and I'm like,
that, or she's just like thinking, and there happens to be a camera right there.
I feel like she's talking to the bride, but also looking directly at us. Like, you get it, right, audience? You get it,
right?
Because this is a wacky, fun romp. I know a lot of reviewers are probably going to go, "It's a love story." It's like, well, that kind of comes across from the trailer, like Frankenstein's monster, who goes by Frank.
Yes.
Christian Bale with his, shocking staples in his head, and everyone's just like, "Oh, you can take off your hat and pull down your mask." Oh! And it's like, well, he doesn't look that bad. He looks like he's been in an accident. He's not the sort of Boris Karloff crazy tall head, platform shoes.
Sure.
This is a learned man about town kind of.
And a real, well, he's had, I guess he's saying he's had 100 or so years to work on his personality.
Yeah, Annette Bening, she was great as another mad scientist who knew of Frankenstein's work.
Yes, I really felt like this was full of so many like great female characters, where it's almost like saying, let's let women have a chance to play these roles. And of course, this was written and directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal. But yes, from sort of a female mad scientist to female Igor figure to excellent detective.
Bechdel test, check.
What was it?
Bechdel test, check.
Yes. And just an ongoing, sort of like the ongoing experience, especially through our detective. That was Penelope Cruz, right?
Penelope Cruz and Peter Stormare as the world-weary detective that kept calling her secretary because he was kind of an ally, but knew, because it was like the 1930s, he was like, she's really better than him.
Yes.
But in front of other men would be like, she's my secretary, wink at the audience, like, no, she's not. She's actually doing more detective work than I am. Did you notice Peter Stormare's character as a detective is always eating? Like, the first time we see him, he had a giant slice of cake. I'm like, what is in his hand? He's got, like, weird, cakey... That's a slice of cake.
Somehow I did not notice that.
Every time he was in the scene, he's eating something, or Penelope Cruz comes up at one point going, I got that sandwich you like. And he's like, oh, great. It's like, so his character trait was always eating. I kind of loved him.
Well, yeah, but also every time Penelope Cruz comes into a room, she's being ignored by all the men talking to each other, and she's really the one who's solving. Is
immediately smarter than the other police officers and detectives.
And so there's a lot of like female rage simmering here.
Yep.
So the framework of the Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley, characters saying like, I'm going to write a story. So maybe this movie is also about storytelling.
Yeah.
I did get a little confused because it's sort of like Jessie Buckley as the bride is kind of like, she's kind of having like split personalities. It's almost like she's been possessed by Mary Shelley, and so sometimes she feels very like beat poet or something. Sometimes she's like gun moll, and sometimes she's aristocratic narrator voice of Mary Shelley, and that kind of comes and goes throughout the movie.
That made me wonder if, like, when I think you said in a previous discussion, like, I'm hearing the author too much. Was that supposed to be like, well, Mary Shelley was British, and when the bride comes across as, or Ida, the character comes across as like, oh, I'm possessed, I'm just saying stuff in a British accent, and people are looking at her in the film going, whoa, what's going on? Was that supposed to be like, oh, the story, it's sounding a bit too much like the author? I don't know. That's what I kind of gleaned from that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's neat to watch and think about, like, okay, well, so what's Maggie Gyllenhaal getting at here? Is it that the storyteller supplies sort of the voice of the characters a lot of times? The dialogue is, like kind of like on Gilmore Girls, like everybody sounds like everybody's kind of wacky in the way that the creator of Gilmore Girls really is in real life. Or like Seinfeld, everybody is sort of some variation of it, so maybe it's that she's trying to tell a story about this kind of lady who ends up in this situation, but the narration and the sort of point of view of Mary Shelley keeps coming through. Are we watching a story unfold as if it's a novel, or are we watching the ghost of the spirit of a deceased novelist possessing a real person and maybe even leading to their accident? Some of that like chaotic dialogue I felt like led to her getting pushed down the stairs or whatever. Right. So whether it's like, I don't feel like I need to know. In any case, we're in the story, and I feel like the actors did a really good job. I feel like Christian Bale had me loving Frankenstein.
Right. They're all having a good time. And they're liking their dialogue and the film they're in, and you can kind of tell. Yeah.
And like, I think that one thing we see happen in this story is Frank, who maybe is sort of a stand-in for, any kind of lonely guy, we mentioned incels recently. It was just like there being a lot of like non-incel hobbity guys out there that we should find love, probably have a lot to offer. Frank is one of these kinds of guys. Like of course he's sort of he's got a deep love of cinema and music and dance. Yeah. And he wants to share all this with somebody. And it really does come off initially like, where's my government-issued girlfriend? Of course, that's going to be hard for Frankenstein to like meet anybody. So we do understand like he's kind of a one of a kind, and maybe to find a real partner, he did feel like he had to seek the help of this particular dating service, which is find a mad scientist to reanimate somebody for you. But it goes from being like, almost like, where's my government issued girlfriend for my male loneliness epidemic, into like, oh, the moment he sees her, he's like, wait, she's too pretty. He's like intimidated. It's too real, all of a sudden. And then as he meets her, yeah, he's quickly, the power dynamic is thankfully, and certainly through the hands of, this writer-director, is not going to show us some gross story, but instead the story of a very, electrifying, pun intended, personality of Ida / Penelope / the bride coming to life and bringing a lot of life into Frank's world.
Which could be a movie in and of itself, but there's also an awesome ticking clock of detectives and police are trying to track them down due to some unfortunate events outside of a club, but also the mob knows who Ida is and they're trying to track her down. They think she's dead.
Right.
And they're like, well, our problem's solved because she was talking to possibly detectives. I think they're not sure, right? They're like, is she a canary or whatever they kept calling her? And they were like, well, it doesn't matter if she is or not. Just take care of her. And so there's that ticking clock of the mob is hunting her down too.
Well, right, because they thought she was dead. She was dead. She was dead, and now she's back. They didn't cut out her tongue, which is apparently what they were doing to some people. Ugh. And yeah, so very much a story about powerful men trying to silence women who are trying to blow with a whistle on them. So I definitely got a very Me Too feel from this. And much like The Outsiders or something, the whole reason they're in trouble with the law is because they defended themselves against an attack and, eliminated some attackers or whatever. But that's not their fault.
They're seen as monsters, and all the newspapers, do they even do that? Spinning towards the camera? Yeah, and it's monster scene in Chicago.
Definitely there was photos being taken right away.
And one of my notes was shout out to Industrial Light and Magic. They don't just do Star Wars. They really made me believe old 1930s New York, Chicago, not the Grand Rapids. Where do they go? Niagara Falls.
Oh, yeah.
All of that looked believable to me, old-timey cars. I'm sure there was a couple of real ones on the street and then the rest probably digital. Oh. But just making New York and Chicago look that looks like an old-timey photo come to life. So lots of hard work by the Industrial Light and Magicians. Is that what you call them? Anyway, I was impressed by that.
Right. And I'm so glad that we got to see, I think, I'll admit, I think I've had a little bit of monster fatigue. There's certain kind of stories that...
Primate.
What?
Primate. Monster fatigue, primate.
No, I'm not coming after primate. I'm talking about classic...
I am. Sorry.
Classic monsters.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Much like something like A Christmas Story, or with my Catholic school background, Stations of the Cross. Just anything where I felt I think I know where this is going. Are we doing this again? Are we doing yet another Christmas Carol? Are we doing yet another Frankenstein? Are we doing yet another Dracula? I feel like these stories keep coming and it's they might be great. But for some reason, sometimes I'm just I'm going to keep picking something else and just never get around to that. This, I wanted to see. This felt like it was going to be fresh. And of course, Jessie Buckley is really big on the scene right now. She's having a big explosion. And even though we haven't seen Hamnet yet, when I saw the trailer for this, I was like, oh, heck yes. Something about her, kind of corner of her mouth talking and the big splotch, the big stylized splotch of black lipstick into, supposed chemical stain that all of the people that she starts, people start getting exhilarated with her, start imitating her style. And of course, the costuming on this is so cool.
Yep.
I think, look out, holiday.
Christmas time. We'll all be dressing up as Frank and the bride for Christmas.
Halloween, maybe
definitely,
some conventions of some kind. I hope I get to see some cool cosplay of this. I thought the whole outfit of Ida / Penelope / the bride was so good.
Even to the outfit that Penelope Cruz wears. Like, all the police are the usual 1930s black uniforms with gold badge, and then Peter Stormare's detective is like the brown trench coat, brown fedora, and then, Penelope Cruz is like this, is it tweed, red
something
jacket? And she just stands out, and great stuff. So
yes, she looked so like elegant. There's so many different ways of being a female badass in this movie, whether you're a scientist or a very paying attention to current pop culture Igor lady, or you're like, because I love when she comes out with she's got the splotch too, and so I was gonna say, I'm so glad we got to see some classic monster stuff in a new way, and them going to the movies together.
Yeah.
Was so...
Shout out to Jake Gyllenhaal.
Nice. Oh, Jake Gyllenhaal is the film star. And all this nuance with Frank, I loved. I think Christian Bale brought a lot of vulnerability, and there's like a lot of so much face acting going on with him, of his like just his fascination with and just like his it just sort of he's sort of immediately overwhelmed with admiration and fascination for Ida, and yes, he's lying to her for a while, and that's uncomfortable. And I'm glad they are able to resolve, because she's the person who's dealing with like the least information here.
Right.
Everybody knows more about what happened to her than she does, and she's trying to piece it together while also having like multiple voices going on in her head and everything. So I'm glad that, but them getting to be at the movies together, and I love that moment where he's sharing his favorite thing with her, which is like this film star's work, and there's this whole deal where like the film star has one leg is slightly shorter than the other, and it's like the awareness that like, oh, he wears a special shoe or whatever. And I feel like Frank is relating to this, like we're the same, we have something about us that's a little quirky physically. We both have that, and look how you're doing it. I can be like you. And then when she's like picking up on this, and she's like, oh, is one leg shorter than the other your thing or whatever? And she takes her legs and she just moves one foot like shorter than the other is the way it's propped up. And I think she's so just a live wire and a leader and curious and just really like sexy and everything. Like she's just very...
They could have gone down like cliche street with Frankenstein and his like strength and anger. They kind of touch upon it, that she wakes him up by like the bride leans over a table that she was sleeping on, and Frankenstein is like lying on the floor sleeping underneath her like hospital gurney style bed. Mm-hmm. And so she blows on his face, and he just like smacks her, like in reaction. And he's like, he's like very angry immediately, and then he's like mortified and is apologizing. I thought, and then when they're kind of defending themselves, attacked outside the club, it's like, he's super strong. And then they kind of drop that, and I appreciated that the bride would say something like either very truthful or sarcastic to him, and then you would see like, I thought Christian Bale did a great job of processing it, and he's either abject joy at what she just said, like he realizes it was either a joke or, at his expense, but it didn't upset him. He could have just gone down to like, oh no, I'm mad and I hate you. Instead, there was a great like sort of smile plays across his face, and he would just be like, yes, I agree. And I loved that acting choice. I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing his Frankenstein's monster or creation, we walked out of the movie and walked past a poster for another version of Frankenstein. Mm-hmm. It's very gray and stylized, and I was just like, I got no interest in seeing that. We just saw a great creature.
Yeah, and just like, I guess, we are people who are very much expressing are interested in movies and love for movies and like sharing movies, and like that he was like trying to share all these movies and theaters and everything with her. And really that's what they wanted to do. He just wanted to spend time with her and share his life with her and share what he loves. And what he didn't probably understand was that, you know, she is like an explosion of a person.
Yeah.
So maybe he had this idea in mind that was more like a paper doll, and then he gets this like 3-dimensional whirling dervish and is just like trying to kind of keep up, you know. So yeah, I think like getting into consent and honesty, you know, we've seen so many movies where characters are like letting a lie go on like a little too long.
Yep.
And even though the lie went on too long and she's to the point where he's getting Penelope, you know, tattooed on his chest or whatever,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, at that point I was like, you took it too far, Frank. Too far.
You know, at least it was on his chest, you know?
Right.
But like, I like that the lie did not end up being the critical point of the story. Yeah. I appreciated that this was somehow able to get resolved, you know, when she's recognized by that other detective, and she starts to find out a little bit more about her story. But I thought that when I say like Dick Tracy and Batman and stuff, I thought like the clubs that they started going to, where the people are emulating her look.
Right.
I felt like that didn't necessarily feel like regular 1930s to me. I think it felt like comic book, you know.
Oh, sure.
And maybe even anachronistic in many ways in the look of it, and I still like loved it. Like I really enjoyed this movie. And I think one of the things that I just try to think about is like, well, like, am I having a good time? Do I care about the characters? Am I enjoying this ride I'm on? You know, am I experiencing something fresh?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I just had a great time. I could just hang out with those characters for a very long time.
Sure.
And I was hoping for the best for them. And, you know, I'm glad that all signs point to and that they get to continue, you know. Says underneath here spoilers. Yes, so it does feel like
yeah. I forgot about the yeah.
So hopefully you read that part, because yes, you know, at the very end there, it does look like, despite them both getting shot and everything, that they're going to be reanimated yet again.
Yeah, didn't they sort of coin the term reinvigorated for this one? It wasn't, you know. But to your point about, the detectives do detective work, I really appreciated, like, you know, how would they even know these two got on a train? And they have an incident with the police searching a train, and Frankenstein has the clipping of Jake Gyllenhaal's character, and that gets left by some railroad tracks just in some grass. And Penelope Cruz finds it, and it's like, oh, they're actually doing some detective work. Good for them. And yeah, when a film doesn't go down cliche paths, you're like, somebody thought about this very hard and went, we're not doing that. We're going to do this. The crazy dance number in the middle, like, felt a bit like, oh, we really enjoyed Sinners. Let's do this. But then it goes different. And I think it was a definite nod to Young Frankenstein, because they chose putting on the Ritz.
Yes.
It could have been silly. It could have been like, oh, what are they doing? But instead it was like you said, heartbreaking that this Frankenstein really loves this, you know, film actor.
Right.
And is doing his dance moves because he knows them. He knows the film so well. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh. And yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal's a bit like, I don't like you like that. Haha, let me turn around to my friends. You say, what crazy fans I have. And yeah, it just becomes heartbreaking. And then dance number. And I'm like, whoa, I kind of love where this film's going. You're never going to go, well, obviously it's going to go here. Wait a minute, is this a dance number in the middle of this film?
Yes.
What's going on?
Yes. And, and when I say, like, Cyndi Lauper, I just remember when, when Cyndi Lauper came on the scene and you're a kid watching this and she's, like, got professional rustlers and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, and her thing was, like, She's So Unusual was, like, her album, and she had her hair, like, in a checkerboard pattern shaved on one side, and you just really hadn't seen anything like that up until that point. And her
And like a little bit Debbie Harry.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Just kind of, what are you going to do? Here's what I'm doing. What are you going to do?
Right.
Don't like it? Well, get out of my way.
Right. And I think, like, there was so much joy in this movie.
Yep.
And it's, I think, I wrote down, finding someone to match your freak.
Yeah.
That, like, I felt like I thought there was a real sweetness in that. The first, like, they're on the lam, not unlike The Outsiders or something like that. And they're hiding out somewhere, and she's like, hey, should we have sex, and maybe help us sleep or whatever. And he's kind of like, no, he kind of chickens out, And I think, like, well, who knows what in all of the Frankenstein-ness of putting Frankenstein together, he may have had, like, a moment of being like, I don't know, because she's kind of like one person that got reinvigorated or whatever.
Right. Through a different mean. I did love Annette Bening's character going, so you're cobbled together from pieces parts. What was the point of that? And it was like, oh, calling out von Frankenstein.
Right. And so maybe he was kind of self-conscious of himself, for that moment. And then also he knows he's kind of lied to her too,
Yeah.
But eventually they are knowing each other better, and their comfort level increases. And so, they are able to, do all the things, and I just think, like, the trust that they had for each other, and just the complete, like, ride or die, like, aspect they had going on there.
Yep.
As they're going around, trying to get to the next movie theater. And I loved it. And I thought, like, it's a great story of, maybe being a little bit broken, too, like maybe being a little broken or a little damaged in whatever way you might be. And finding someone to turn your monster into a hero, a folk hero. I think, I've also felt, there was that sort of, like, Bartleby the Scrivener reference going through there. It's like the Herman Melville story, and the classic thing is, like, I would prefer not to. It's all about, like, this guy who's supposed to be doing some kind of, assistant work in a law office, and he gets hired to do it, but he just keeps saying, like, I would prefer not to. I would prefer not to. That's basically all he says. So, and she's kind of teaching civil disobedience. She's trying to make women realize that they don't have to put up with stuff that they have been putting up with.
Right.
And her example and her brashness and all of that is just, like, electrifying to women in society, and they start emulating her. And I feel like, yeah, kind of like we did a double feature, so we also saw Hoppers, and I was like, right, and they were playing Rebel Girl, and I was like, oh no, wait, that's not Hoppers. But it just, yeah. And also like Art's ability to...
Which is an interesting double feature.
Yes.
We'll talk about that soon, but interesting in, strong female leads and wacky mad scientists that are also women in both films.
Oh, right.
So there you go.
Right.
Double feature.
Yes, trying to overthrow powerful men who don't necessarily have people's best interests in mind.
Look at that.
But yeah, Art's ability to inspire movements, you know, and yeah, I feel like, is that everything?
I think so.
Is that everything?
It was really good.
Just say, like, yeah, I kind of just caught a glimpse, and I was online of like on the side of Rotten Tomatoes, I saw some sort of percentage that wasn't looking so great for this movie. And I saw, and I'm just kind of like, well, you know, I'll be we don't read those reviews until after we've done ours, because we don't want to be influenced. So I don't know what problem people are having with this movie, but I got
patriarchy, man. Go see it.
I got a big kick out of it.
Yeah.
And I hope there's a sequel, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like there could be.
But Gyllenhaal's got to write and direct again. I think that
Yes.
would keep the theme
Yes.
and the feel going.
Also, Jake Gyllenhaal's like vintage cinema songs. I hope those end up somewhere. I haven't seen yet that they're part of a soundtrack, but those were great. I don't know if those were written especially for the movie. If they were written,
they're very close to real old-timey songs.
If they were like in the style of old-timey songs, you know.
Like, what's the voice? Like, isn't it transatlantic, where it's like, it's not quite American, it's not quite British, and a lot of actors, I guess, for the radio.
Right.
And then movies were like, hello, my darling, and I'm going to sing you a song in this kind of high-pitched voice. Da, da, da. He does a great job. He was fantastic.
Yes. So what did you think of The Bride? The Bride. And by the way, The Bride, not the bride of anyone. She's the bride. They
just
make
the
that
bride.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we thought it was pretty cool. What did you think? Let us know. And
Leave a comment. We read them. We really do. Even though we have so many subscribers now, we still read every comment. So, am I losing some fur?
Maybe.
Yikes. Getting old. Losing fur. Woo.
All right. Talk to you soon about more movies.
Bye.